Hi, I'm Mel. So glad you could make it. And what we'll be doing today is climbing the 79 steps at Siena's Duomo, the cathedral, up to the gate of heaven. Why? Well, we'll get some great views of the inside of the cathedral and also of Siena itself, a wonderfully preserved medieval city. When? Well, I was there in March of 2025. And where? Well, Siena is in Italy. It's north of Rome, and it's roughly halfway between Florence and Pisa. Siena's cathedral, the Duomo, has a beautiful, famous facade. It's a place I feel strangely drawn to. But if anything, the interior is even more glorious than the exterior. It's full of beautiful artwork and wonderful statues by the likes of Bernini, Donatello and Michelangelo. Here is a stunning 13th century pulpit by Pisano. And there are famous floor mosaics, this one showing Siena as a she-wolf surrounded by lesser lights such as Pisa and Rome. Oh, and there's the Piccolomini Library, showing the life of a 15th century philandering pope in glorious frescoes. But we're not doing any of that. We're climbing the 79 steps to ascend to the gate of heaven. We have our tickets and we're allowed through. And here we go up the steps, the 79 of them. And now's a great time to think about clicking on the like button or leaving a comment or sharing or subscribing. It'd help me out a lot. You're allowed up in batches, up to 18 people at a time. And we have a guide at the front and a guide at the rear to make sure we don't get lost or do something stupid along the way as we progress through the roof space. So he'll explain shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Gate of Heaven. Me and my colleagues over there are here for your safety. Actually, we are not proper guides, but nevertheless, for any questions, we are here, okay? So we have to stay all together like a group. Photos are definitely allowed, but please do not use flash, do not use selfie stick, and most of all, please do not lean out of the balconies and the glass barriers. It's very important. Okay.
And as I think you'll see, that last piece of advice about the glass balconies, which looked a bit flimsy to me, is very important. So we're at the base of the dome, looking down into the main body of the church, and there are 12 windows, about 6 on each side, representing the 12 apostles. 4 of them, the windows that is, are open, I think, on this side. I don't think any of the others on the other side are actually open. So there's time to take your photographs. I got told off for leaning too far into one of the windows, which is fair enough. Now, on this part of the walk is a display of tools that have been used over the centuries, handheld tools, to restore parts of the cathedral at various times. Most notably at the end of the 19th century, there was a very significant fire causing a lot of damage. So our guide explains to us the tools and what the architect felt and how they were used. So in a moment we're going to progress onto the next phase of the walk, which is an external part where we'll get some views up these stairs here. But again, because you progress as a group, you have to wait for everyone. We were the first walk of the day, so that's why he's opening the door. And this is very narrow, this section. We look out over the rooftops of Siena. There is the Torre del Mangia in the main square, Il Campo. And if you're interested in that, I've done a walk up the tower, and I'll leave a link in the description below. So we shuffled along to being next to the bell tower. Now ordinarily the bell tower would be the highest viewpoint in the whole of Siena, but due to structural instability it's not actually accessible by the public anymore. It's fairly narrow, so we have to go back and swap places with other people so they can have access to the same viewpoint. We progress naturally back to the inside, and you can look into the main body of the Duomo, and there's plenty of opportunity to take shots, and I will include some of these in the video as we go around. The Duomo was built in the 13th century and is an example of the Romanesque Gothic style, and this is the rear view over the church, and that is San Domenico, where Saint Catherine of Siena experienced some of her heavenly visions, and indeed it's where her severed head is on display as a holy relic, so rather creepy. Back into the main roof space now, over on the other side of the dome, with more of the windows of the 12 apostles. These ones don't open, so you don't get a view down into the church. Again, we're waiting for other members of the group to catch up and assemble in this space before we're allowed to progress onwards. And it's supposed to make sure nobody does anything stupid or falls from one of the balconies. This is now one of the lowest roof spaces, so you can see the padding on the supports, so you're going to mind your head and mind your feet indeed as you weave your way through the trusses and supports. So we're making our way round to the front facade of the church, overlooking this square, across to the Santa Maria della Scala Museum, which is vast. It may not look it, but it's on a number of levels and contains a lot of Byzantine reliquaries as well as Etruscan remains excavated from Siena. So we'll pan round and we can see in the main roof of the church the stars painted there, and looking down into the main body of the church, again catching sight of some of the amazing floor mosaics. Another view over the square to Santa Maria della Scala before we start making our way down back to the starting point. All the way back down the 79 steps so that we can find our tickets, progress through the security barriers and turnstiles into the main body of the cathedral. There we are. And so our video is coming to an end, friends, as the sun sets over the main square in Siena. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to this video channel. It would really help me out a lot. I've been Mel, and until the next one, thank you for coming with me.